Hey guys, and welcome to another AOR video. Today we're doing a social race around Spain, which was hosted by, I believe, Casper. I've not had a social race in a while now. It's a new game, of course. The organizers are testing the multiplayer ahead of the official Season 18, of course, championships. But yeah, let's take a lap around the Barcelona circuit here. Around turn 3 it's quite difficult on hards, even though they're fresh and it's qualifying. I opted to go for a hard medium strategy because I thought that was the best one, but yeah, let's see how this race goes. It's all a bit of testing at the end of the day, and yeah, lap so far is looking quite good. The plan was to do a high 19 if possible, to at least put me inside the top 10. I really didn't know where I would stack against the grid because it was fairly decent, this one. So yeah, so far so good. The delta is of course against the soft lap at the very start of the session, which wasn't great. Of course we backed off at the end so we can improve the lap. But yeah, through sector 3 now, very technical. The tires have got quite a lot of heat in them at the moment, so it's quite good on hard. And so yeah, we go through that very nicely through the last chicane. Make sure you don't take a lot of that inside curve because it is quite high and it will send you flying. So across the line it's going to be a 1:19.749, which at the moment is actually provisional pole. I was quite optimistic about that. So yeah, it's P4 in the end. The top 3 are on medium, so I took that quite nicely. It's a pretty decent lap, so it sets up nicely for the race. Starting P4 on second row on, I would say, the best strategy at the moment for this track. So it's lights out, and the top 3 get away very nicely. Actually, Casper is into the lead from second place, I believe, and now we got the soft runner of Ninja Snake going around the outside of us into turn 1. Yeah, we go down to P5 momentarily, but we take the place from Dress, who was on the mediums. I think he run wide into turn 2, and we take the place. So we didn't take any positions, we didn't lose any, but I think Solid Ninja Snake, his tires will go off quite quickly. Of course, the soft tires around here don't last too long. I think he was the only one actually in the top 10 to go for a soft strategy. I guess he's on the 2-stop actually, so yeah, not good at all. So we had to go through him as fast as possible, or overtake him rather. So yeah, let's see through lap 1 now. We're very close to him, and actually I wanted to pass him already here with the overtake. ERS up to hot lap now for the sector 3, of course. Very low gears, and down the inside we go. He's going to back out of that. There's no way. We go side by side into that corner, so we're up into P3 again, and only Nicolas, Matteo and Casper, I believe, in front of us in the top 2 positions. So we're doing quite well at the moment. The fuel and the tires are looking quite nice. Of course it's only lap 1, but you always have to take good care of them. And yeah, Casper leading the race. We're gonna skip on to lap 4 actually. We're going through sector 2, very tricky chicane, especially on hard tires. Quite fast. It looks like a chicane, but yeah, you have to take it a bit differently through the fast turn 9 there. And we're not close enough to Nico for a move, so we're going to brake as late as possible. We've actually hit him, and he's around, and that was a very awkward spin. He was just kept spinning, although the touch was actually very light, and we're going to wait for him. Fortunately, he actually reset on track, I believe, so that didn't lose that much time, but still 4 to 5 seconds to Casper lost. And now we actually, more importantly, down to P4 as Drez also got past as we were letting Ninja Snake through. So yeah, Casper's got a free road ahead of him. We've lost 4 point something seconds on this lap, which is not ideal at all. But actually Drez and Nico are gonna battle it out into turn 1 for P2. I'm not sure if Nico was a bit frustrated, of course, after the incident. And yeah, you'll be able to see into turn 4 they go now. Drez has got around 20 meters in front of Nico, but Nico is going to brake very late, and yeah, they're going to come together in turn 4, which fortunately for us means the road is clear, and ahead of us is only Casper. I'm not sure what happened between Nico and Dress, but yeah, it's unfortunate for both of them. And yeah, again, I'm sorry to Nico, but I let him through and did everything I could after that. It was again, very awkward incident there, but anyway, race is carrying on into lap 6 with some really quick laps as the tires come alive here. Of course, the hards get quicker in pretty much every circuit you go into the stint, of course, as they degrade. And yeah, the main problem of this race was, as you can see, the penalties. We're gonna get a few more after this one, and a few annoying ones as well, which, as you know, in these games they don't actually gain you time, but it will give you a warning. But now I actually set the quickest lap of the race. As I said, the hards come alive at the end of the stint, and on lap 9 now we do the fastest lap. But on this lap, lap 15, the medium runner of Casper is going to come in into the pits, and it was actually our teammate Spun in the exit of that chicane, so that's not good to see. But anyway, we take the lead of the race for a few laps before we, of course, going to pit in a little while, as Zolomon has left the session. That's going to trigger a VSC, and that's going to help us quite a bit, as we will be able to pit at the end of this lap for fresh mediums to go to the end of the race. It will be a stretch, as Casper just about made not 25, 15 laps on them, but that was with the qualifying and the start of the race. So yeah, I think we will be able to do 15 laps now, or 16 actually, from lap 18 to the end of the race. But yeah, the main problem was that we had a few penalties more from Casper. Actually, it was really messy race from my side with the penalties. It wasn't because of the incident with Nico or anything, but it was just little 1mm or 2mm exceeding the track limit, and that just gives you a warning. And yeah, a few too many. We've got 3 penalties actually, I think at the moment, or 2, and Casper will only get 1 throughout this race. So yeah, it was really difficult to make a 6-second gap or so that we needed. And now on lap 19 we are going to try and get as close as possible to him, so we can get the DRS and yeah, just lose as little time as possible for both of us. Didn't want to battle or anything, especially me, because I wanted to create a quite big gap. So yeah, now the end of lap 19, start of lap 20 through the chicane. Don't take any of that curb, especially on the first part, and yeah, just flat through the last corner. It's actually not easy in the race to take it flat, sometimes with dirty air and hard tires, but yeah, we took it flat. I don't think Casper was so comfortable on the hard through that corner, so we passed him easily on the straight. And now we've got 14 laps to try and build a 6-second gap, which doesn't sound very easy, but medium tires versus the hard tires, and yeah, a bit of practice for this race to try and get some, you know, good practice for this, because if you don't do anything, if you don't prepare for these kind of races, you will not really learn anything anyway. So I could actually get right on board on this lap, because this was our fastest lap of the race, and in the end we did take the extra point for this. So I think it was a 20.9 on fresh mediums with a DRS, of course, on Casper. And let's let Jeff speak on the penalties.
Was a 1 minute 22.3. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
So yeah, Casper had 3 seconds of time penalties at the moment, with 14 laps to go. Of course, there's plenty of time for both of us to get more. But yeah, it was really tricky on this track actually, especially on the middle sector. On that fast chicane, you can just extend. It's really random sometimes. I guess it depends also on the fuel mix you have and on the ERS deployment. Someone told me that, so yeah, it's weird. It just guess how this game works. I guess something in the code as well, but yeah, just try not to extend the corners, of course, anyway, because they're just losing you time most of the time. As you can see there, turn 3, we've got a time penalty for that, which clearly lost us time if anything, and we've got a 3-second time penalty on top of that. So it's not really fair, but it's the same for everyone, I guess. So yeah,
the gap behind is 4.9 seconds. They're on old hards. The time last lap was a 1:21.9. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
so we've asked again on lap 29 on Casper's penalties. At the moment we have 9 seconds, so that's 3 penalties. He only had 1, so I thought I had to create a 6-second gap, and you know, according to the game I did, because I had 6 seconds more worth of time penalties. But actually in the end you're gonna be able to see that that wasn't the case somehow. I don't know if it was game's fault that he told us that he had 3 seconds, because Casper told me that he had 2 seconds, or 2 penalties rather, so that's 6 seconds of penalties, and that means that we only had to create a 3-second gap, and the gap on this lap is 5.5. so coming out of last corner, we're gonna take this race win with yeah, it was a really hard fought race after the incident to catch up to Casper on a different strategy. We pretty much gained the time lost from the incident on the VSC. So yeah, after that I was just trying to pull away from Casper on the mediums, and as you can see, confirmation we've taken the win. Quite surprisingly, I didn't know that we would, as I thought I had to create a bigger gap, but yeah, the last laps were really challenging anyway, because I didn't know of the circumstances on Casper's penalties. But yeah, podium celebrations, really good race, and yeah, good practice for the season ahead as well. Hope you learned some things on this track. Of course, the softs are not usable, as you may tell. I don't even know where Solid Ninja Snake finished, because outside the top 10 I don't think anyone would have started on the softs for any reason. But yeah, you can see 1 stops everywhere until P11, which was actually Ninja Snake who started on the soft. So yeah, that was it. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.